The Shintaro Higashi Show is sponsored by Hakuin AI. Hakuin AI helps you measure, predict, and solve customer churn. Visit Hakuin AI and start your free churn audit today. Judo TV, your premier destination for live and on-demand judo coverage. Never miss a throw. Higashi brand. Train hard, live strong, wear Higashi brand.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Shintaro Higashi Show with David Kim and Peter Yu. Peter Yu is back to visit us. What's going on, Peter? Nice to see you, man.
Yeah, it's great to see. I haven't talked to you guys in like so long. I feel like since,
Yeah, it's been a while.
yeah, since so. But yeah, I'm in California now. I know there's some like time difference issue we had to overcome, but I thought I had to come and visit you guys on this podcast. I've been watching. David's been making some good improvements. And it looks better. Sounds better.
You finished your PhD.
Yeah, I'm
Give us a quick 5-minute update.
Yeah, so I defended in May. I can't remember now. At the end of May. So it's Dr. U for you guys now.
Oh, snap!
Wow. Yeah.
Doctor.
And I took a couple of weeks off, just hanging out, packing a little, played a lot of golf actually.
I forget.
Nice.
Very cheap to play
Grappling
golf
at
in
all?
Michigan. Of course, I did judo with Christian,
Nice.
as you could know.
Okay, good.
And
Yeah.
then I started my new job in the Silicon Valley. I'm in the autonomous vehicle space now. It's a company called Wayve,
Yeah.
Wayve. So it's a relatively smaller company than like Waymo or Tesla,
Yeah.
obviously.
Is it a public company?
No, it's still a private startup.
Nice.
We just raised Series C last year. Yeah, well, I didn't do anything. Yeah, it was. But yeah, so this is my first week. I started last Monday. Yeah.
So let me ask you a question about the autonomous vehicles. Now that we're all Asian in here, we just nerd out and talk about science and stuff. I just watched an Elon Musk interview about why he chose to go against Lidar, and Waymo uses Lidar. What about Wayve?
Yeah.
What do they use?
We don't use Lidar right now, but I think our approach is that we're trying to just kind of take whatever sensors that are available. If the Lidar is available in the car, because we don't make cars. We are trying to sell our software to other OEMs, I call it, the car companies. So if the car company has a Lidar, we're gonna handle that. If the car company wants radar in it, we're gonna handle that. But cameras are primary. So in that sense, we are pretty close to Tesla. My company actually started was the first company to kind of try this, what they call the end-to-end approach before Tesla. Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So what do you do there?
So my job title is applied scientist. And
Science. That's
I
so
know, right?
fancy.
I know, right?
Yeah.
But I mean,
That's a real career right there.
I work on the brain of the autonomous vehicle system. Yeah, basically.
Yeah.
How do we make it smarter? Basically, that's what I'm.
So where are we in the whole autonomous vehicle thing? Like Waymo's already out there, has 1,500 cars in fleet or something like this.
Yeah.
Tesla just did Robotaxi release in Austin. It's been going for 4 days.
Yeah.
I myself have the new Model Y.
Yeah.
It has full self-driving.
Did
Where
you
is
pay
it
for
right
that?
now?
Did you?
Well, it came with it. The new
Oh,
Model
okay.
Y Juniper, the limited edition one, came with the FSD, and I have it, and it's absolutely amazing. But it does make some mistakes that are kind of scary. Yeah.
I mean, it's hard to say like what the current status is in the sense that like I don't know what your reference point is, but it does a lot of like these problems are always like this. It's a power law. Like 80% of the 80% of the work takes 20% of the effort, and then the last 20% of the problems take 80% of the work, and that's where the battle is. I think
We just said something like that the other day, right,
Yeah,
David?
Pareto principle, right?
Pareto principle,
Shintaro
yeah,
brought it up
yeah.
on his own unprompted.
Is it? It's not
Right.
power law, right? It's a Pareto principle, Gini coefficient, whatever, one of those
Yeah,
things.
power
Yeah.
law. I mean, yeah, but same idea.
Yeah,
Same
yeah.
idea. Long tail.
Yeah, long tail, long tail. So that's the thing. I mean, so I think all the autonomous vehicle companies are trying to solve the long tail problem, which means like all these unexpected situations that you can you cannot always you can't collect a lot of data of.
Right.
Yeah. So how do we do
Yeah.
that? So I mean,
Right.
yeah, I'm kind of trying to help out in that regard. Yeah.
So are you actually
Wow.
using your field of research in this work, or is it more just, I
Yeah,
mean, you must
yeah.
be to some extent, but like, is it directly hitting the sweet spot of your research, or is it something,
Yeah, so
sort of adjacent?
I can't comment too much on it. It's all like,
Right.
it's
Super
a
secret.
very competitive field, but
Yeah.
I'll say, yeah, I was hired thanks to my dissertation research.
On the Model Y, right?
Yeah, yeah,
You know, like in New York City, you're not allowed to take a right on red.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
It takes a right on red.
yeah. Probably because
Can your
I mean,
software solve this?
so that's I'll just say that's one of the challenges that's left, like kind of like all this like uh reasoning capabilities or like generalization, like kind of reading the rules, knowing the local laws, and then
Yeah.
reason that in New York City there's a law, and then you pop. Oh, because I think the problem in Manhattan is that everywhere there's no right turn on red.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Right.
but they don't even bother putting up the sign, right? So,
Sounds like prompt engineering to me.
yeah. So I mean that's like the whole thing. Yeah. Like, can we get some of the abilities from LLM back into the self-driving cars?
Like, how far are we away from having like, all right, so the rollout for the robotaxi happened,
Yeah.
right? And I follow this Tesla thing closely. That
Yeah.
gets expanded, and then all of a sudden, if you have a hardware for Model Y, like all of a sudden that thing
Yeah.
can go and, drop me off in the city. And the worst part about driving to the dojo, this is purely
Yeah.
selfish reasons that I look into this, right? Is going to the city, getting to the dojo, and then me looking for parking.
Yeah.
It's like
suck.
I drop myself off at the dojo. It's like, all right, go around the block and then pick some people up, make some money, and just come pick me up after the judo's done. How
Yeah.
close are we to that? That's all I care about. Just me selfishly. That's what I want to know.
I mean,
This is why we brought you back, Peter. These are the questions that people want to know the answers to.
I can't really make a prediction on that. I don't know. Who
Come
knows?
on,
I don't think
give
anyone knows.
me a couple months,
But,
years.
like, years, I can't give you a timeline because I really don't know. I mean, it's like we probably are a few breakthroughs away from actually I think there are like levels defined by the highway agency, the level 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right?
Yes,
We have level 2, which is like basically a lane following kind of thing, and we're like footing with level 3 and 4. I think Waymo.
What's level
is
3
a
again?
I'm gonna mess up. Let me look it up. But I think level 4 is kind of like Waymo is in San Francisco. What level is?
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm probably like there's some nuance.
People can look
so
it
it's
up.
like, yeah, you can look it up.
Yeah.
But we're level 5 is like we don't know. Yeah, it's like
You don't
fully
need anything.
capable. You don't need anything.
Yeah.
And
Man, what a
from
world,
level
huh?
5, I mean, it's probably ways away. And at the same time, it's like, again, that's we are supposed to have level 5, right? We humans, but we still make mistakes and we get into accidents. And then I think car is it's like one of the deadliest thing on in the world.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Yeah. So in that sense, that's the risk as a society we're willing to take. And some countries have lower risk tolerance, so it's hard. They make it harder to drive. America has decided, as a society, decided that we're gonna have a very high. So we let like 16-year-olds drive after taking
like
a
my
month.
son.
Yeah, it's crazy. I think that's absolutely nuts. But we've built our society around that, so I don't think that's
Driving
the
fast
right
and
way.
rock and roll, man. That's what America is built on.
So that's the thing. I think now we cross into this more societal issues. It depends on what we decide as a society. I think Detroit tried to like, I think Michigan built like a self-driving lane and I-94 or something, but I've been on that lane and it's silly. It's silly, but I don't even know what they're trying to do with that. Anyway, but yeah, that's those are some of my thoughts. I mean, it's not flashy. I can't really make a predict. I can't really answer your question.
Well, you've only
so
been there for a week, so
yeah,
I
also,
don't, you
yeah.
know.
Autonomous vehicle is kind of like a new field to me too, because I wasn't.
Yeah.
That wasn't my.
You didn't write your dissertation on.
Yo, so what is
autonomous
work
driving.
like? Like going back to work after all these years, just kind
Yeah.
of grappling, hanging out, and getting your PhD. Like, what's that like now that you got to go to work every day?
So it's. I think it's more. I don't.
It
I wouldn't say.
sucks.
I wouldn't say it's relaxing, but it's more enjoyable in the sense that, like, I think the worst part of the PhD is that you could never rest.
Yeah.
You are always in the cycle. Like you have in the
There's no end.
no end. Like
Kinda,
you can't
until
you can't
you
really
graduate,
like
yeah.
you have to make a conscious effort to shut off and rest. Because this kind of almost like running your own business in a way. Like if you don't do it, nothing's gonna happen. So
You did it
and
for 6
also
years, right? 6 years?
5 years, a little bit less than 5, like 4 and 8 months. Yeah, 4
That's
years
impressive.
and 8 months. I mean, that's the standard. And then if you want to become a professor, I wasn't like the best PhD student. I don't have the best publication record. So, but if you want to become a professor, you did like a stellar publication record. So people will take an extra year or two to publish more papers. And on top of it, do postdoc to do more research. And then like, it's
But you
very
knew you were
competitive.
going into industry. You knew you were
Yeah,
coming
I
back to
mean,
industry,
that was
right?
my original intention. And then I quickly realized that, yeah, the people who
Yeah.
become professors, I like going back to the kind of like the sports analogy I used in the peer review episode. They are the superstars in like superstar athletes.
Yeah.
If you become like they're superstar coaches, superstar athletes. So I'm just I don't know. I got some medals at Continental or something. Like yeah, yeah. So work you can kind of there's some clear separation, and I think there's more
Yeah.
support for you because then PhD student as a PhD student you kind of have to do everything, but yeah, it's a little nice, and then I can start thinking bigger. That's another good thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you have to go into work physically every day, or do you have remote days, or what is that like all of a sudden?
I think we kind of have a yeah. Oh, you have to come into the office like a certain number of days, but I prefer going in. Because
Because you have an
especially
empty apartment. That's why.
yeah, that also yeah, that's a big reason. I don't have any
See, I
furniture
just
right
gave
now.
it up. I just gave it
Yeah.
up.
And your wife moved there with you, or she's gonna come after in a little bit?
So
Or like you guys?
she came here for a week to help me settle in, and then
Yeah,
but she had to
yeah.
go back because her contract runs until September in Michigan. But
Oh,
she
wow,
does
okay, yeah,
she
yeah.
does have a job lined up here in October.
Of course
Yeah.
she does.
Wow.
She got
Yeah.
it all together.
Push-up.
Dude,
Superstar.
for-
Gosh, come on.
I mean, she hates it when I say
Yeah.
this because it is still hard, but her job search was so much easier than mine. Like it's MDs, man. They got like boys and girls go to medical school.
Oh,
It's-
you're
it's-
just destroying
Go to
so
bed,
many
yeah.
dreams, Peter.
Have you decided on like a JoJo to train at already, or have
So,
you looked around, or
I did some preliminary research, but Jason, our
yeah,
biggest patron. He goes to
supporter right now?
another Shintaro here, Shintaro Nakano's gym, and then it looks
Oh,
nice. Yeah, so I might pay them. a
Is that
visit.
close by?
It's
Oh, that's
actually
San
very
Jose.
close. Yeah, it's very close to me.
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah, that is
Yeah.
close.
So 5 to 10 minute drive or something, it's perfect. Because
I'm gonna send you guys both an email and then connect you guys, and you guys can,
What
talk
is it
about
with you and
tech stuff.
Shintaros? That's a little creepy.
Oh,
now.
you know that.
Yeah, I know. What's up with that?
You know
Yeah.
Shintaro Nakano too?
Of course I'd bet him. Are you
I,
kidding me?
I guess
I saw him a couple weeks ago at a judo tournament.
Oh, I mean Shintaro, you
Yeah.
guys, he's like the Brad Pitt of judo. So I mean, everyone knows it. Yeah, yeah.
I have a funny story about that. One of his students was texting me thinking that he was talking to the other
Oh.
Shintaro.
That's
Yeah.
so funny.
He's like, at the end of it, I was like, who do you think you're talking to? Shintaro. I was like, yeah, but what are you talking about? What tournament do you expect me? What is your name? Let me live up your membership on my body. And he gave me some random. I was like, dude, I don't think you're my student, dude.
That's so funny.
He was like, yes, I am. I'm like,
That guy's like, man, Shintaro's a real asshole.
yeah, I know.
I just saw him at
Yeah.
training the other day.
yeah, we're going back and forth. And then finally we figured out, I was like, wait a minute. You know, you're talking to Shintaro Higashi. And you're like, oh, shoot. I thought I was talking to Nakano.
He knew
Like,
who
how
he
does that
was
happen?
talking to.
That's so
He
funny.
knew
How
who
does
he
that
was
even happen?
talking to.
Yeah.
That was all a
But
ruse.
man, Peter, you look great. You look healthy. You miss being on the podcast?
Of course I do. I mean, it's like, it's always I think when you grow older and then you have all family obligations, I think it's important to just kind of make this type of regular hangout sesh.
Great idea for a podcast episode, David, by the way.
I know,
David
yeah.
was like, we got to get Peter on. We got to get Peter on. I'm like, oh, I would love to talk to Peter. I haven't spoken
I
to
mean,
him in
I'll
a couple
definitely
weeks.
come by here and there. Like, I think, just that, like, yeah, I'm glad that I could make it on here. Like, there's a time difference, and
Yeah.
then, I work pretty long hours right now, especially because I just started.
Can they reach out and be like, listen, man,
Yeah.
you got to get this done by Wednesday?
So, I think if there's a deadline, but because I'm on the science team, I'm
Yeah.
kind of shielded from it. Like,
Yeah.
my stuff I work on, well, it doesn't go out to production, so to speak, right away. So
So
it
more like
has to go-
fundamental research
Yeah.
kind of stuff.
I mean, not fundamental because I'm still an applied scientist. So it's like,
Well, yeah. I mean,
yeah,
but fundamental
yeah.
to the
yeah, exactly. So you don't have to,
To the
what
system.
stuff.
How dare you, David? How dare you?
No.
Fundamental.
The systems I make will have to go through a lot of rounds of testing
Yeah.
before it can get out.
Yeah.
So it's
Yeah, yeah,
okay. Yeah, in that sense. And then, I mean,
Man.
and then if your company keeps asking, like if you keep firefighting, then something's wrong with your company. Like you gotta work on your
Yeah.
processes.
yes, it's a sign of weakness.
That's right. That's
It's
right.
a sign of weakness. Yes, that is.
David,
no,
what was
that
the
is
last time you
100%.
had a real job?
Me? I have a real job right now. What are you talking about?
No, you're
probably-
you're the
probably-
owner though. You're the guy
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
running the show. You could do whatever you want in your fancy house.
Probably.
I'm talking about like a real job.
Yeah, probably 12 years, something like that.
Oh.
Yeah.
Damn. You missed that?
No. No.
I'm a little
Not-
bit
not
envious
even a little bit.
sometimes. You know,
What are you talking
Peter,
about?
like,
You
getting
are
up,
living that
getting his
life right now,
coffee.
Shintaro. You are the
No,
owner.
I'm not. No, I know, but like this, it's not. I don't have like a real job, so it's like it's not. I don't know. When Peter's like, I get up in the morning, I get a coffee, I go to the office, and I see the guy. What's up, man? How's your weekend? Like, I don't have that, you know.
Yeah, I think it all depends on your
Yeah.
where
Yeah.
you are in life, who you're dealing with, and
Yeah.
what industry you're in. I mean,
Yeah.
for me,
Yeah.
like I had no. I guess I probably to a fault. I just can't deal with corporate BS.
I see.
And
For
it's
me,
hard.
yeah, I think for me, I actually prefer this structure. I think,
Yeah.
I think that's probably why I didn't really like thrive in PhD because PhD is kind
It's
of
so
like
open-ended.
yeah, it's kind of like running your own business. It's not a real job, so to speak.
So you guys want to talk a little judo?
Yeah, sure.
little-
Yeah, judo.
we
Yeah.
haven't talked any judo.
Oh,
All right, so
yeah.
well, you did judo recently.
So I was thinking this, so I've been playing a lot of golf, right? And
Yeah.
I realized that all the sports that contain this turning motion, the swinging, I think
Yeah.
evolutionarily wise, I think we are best at throwing things. And I think swinging actions like golf, tennis, judo throws, baseball, I think they're all related. And so I was like, as I was like kind of like trying to learn, perfect my golf swing, I realized that I was doing something wrong with my own judo forward throws, like turn throws
From golf.
from golf. Yeah. And then I think it kind of goes to that whole debate about kuzushi, what kuzushi means, and like, do you gotta, like, is it like, when you do your uchimata, do you have to pull down or you have to really like to see your watch and stuff like that? You know, that whole thing.
Yeah.
So-
yeah.
I think I kind of have my own theory, and I got to only experiment with it once or twice, but I think it works better. So that's my current judo thoughts.
So what was the epiphany? Like, what was the change?
So in golf, what they say is that arms only move up and down, because that's the what arms are designed to do, up and down.
You just
It's
happen to be
really-
turning.
Yeah, exactly. It's
Y-
really
y-
we are really good at accelerating our arms to up and down, and we're very weak this way because we're using like the small
Is that
muscles,
right?
Yeah, because you're like we're
Who
using
said
deltoids.
this?
No, it's you're a lot stronger pulling things down
Yeah.
or
Yeah.
bringing
Yeah.
it up.
You've said this yourself, Shintaro, many
Yeah.
times.
Have I?
So
Yeah. When you pull high and you look like the classical watch, you're using a lot of the small muscles.
Yeah.
You've said that before, as opposed to pulling down to the side like Hanban TV.
yeah,
Right?
yeah.
They're making that argument
Yeah.
where you pull down to the hip.
So I think
And,
that's what it is. And then in golf too, they say drop your hands and then because your body, your hip is turning, the arc is created, the whole circular motion. They really emphasize that because golf, the really biggest point is the swing speed because you want to hit far. And then it goes to, I think, with the judo too. I mean, if you want to throw, you can't watch you have to. So the pull, it's really the pulling motion, pulling down motion that really throws a person, and then you just jump with your legs, you turn your hip, and then
Yeah.
what that means is kuzushi, this whole thing, you do have to pull up a little, but that's just to create enough room for you to pull down. You know what I mean?
Oh, that's interesting. No,
Yeah.
you tied all that together. I had no idea where you were going with this, but now you've tied that all together.
You know what I
That's
mean?
very
So like,
interesting.
so the
Yeah.
So the
Yes.
one thing that wasn't working for me was the right-sided morote seoi nage. I used to be so good at it, but for some reason I lost it, and I could only
Yeah.
hit the left side ippon seoi nage.
Yeah.
But I was thinking about it, and it's because it wasn't working. I went back to the classic way of like look at the watch and whatnot. So I couldn't really move the person because I was using small muscle. So what I did was I just focused on pulling the person down and jumping in.
Mm.
And it was
Interesting.
just like, there was nothing blocking me into it. It was very freeing. And so that's when I realized, and even Uchimata too, I just focused on pushing I mean, you always tell me to push the head down, push the head down. I didn't really get that. And I thought I just had to add more rotation energy. But it's more that I really have to push down, like the person into the ground. But when you just do the whole leg kicking move, the spinning move, everything kind of works together mechanically. So I realized that I could really finish, the kenken uchimaras better. Like even if I don't get the kuzushi, like the unbalancing correctly, timing correctly, I could really force it down and then really finish the throw. So
Yeah.
that's I'm gonna try to work on that more. I don't know if it makes sense to everyone, but yeah, that's what I've been working on.
Yeah.
That's my judo thought.
Interesting. I can't wait for you to do judo out there and see how that goes. Me,
Yeah,
I
I
do judo,
know.
so it should be
Yeah,
fun.
I know. It's
Yeah.
oof. I got a little target in my back, especially like
I
if
wonder when you walk into
compensate.
these dojos if people will recognize you from
I've already gotten like some people reach out to me saying, oh, like inviting me to their like BJJ gyms
Yeah.
and all that.
I mean, why would they not want you? They every dojo's gonna want you. You're a nice
I
guy.
mean, I don't know. It's
Good grappling.
but yeah, so that's my judo thought. Yeah.
Well, this is
That's
definitely
awesome.
something I'm going to follow up with you about because we still have that whole idea on
Oh,
the
yeah.
on the physics modeling, like
Yeah,
the
yeah, I
technical
know.
side. I
Yeah,
don't know if
we'll
we'll
get
get
to
to it
that.
tonight,
Yeah.
but we're definitely
Probably
going to follow up on
No.
this because it's this concept has been burning a hole in my mind for
Yeah, well,
probably
yeah.
12 years, and I need a PhD's technical and ordered mind. A guy once told me, you want a PhD because it's the way they think. It's the way they think.
I
And
mean,
he
I
knew I
think-
wasn't a PhD, so I was like, "What the hell are you talking about?"
Yeah, I mean, I guess, yeah, that's kind of the point, I guess. But again, like, I would love to have that, talk to you about that. But the caveat is that it's not exactly
I
my
knew it.
field. Yeah, no, but I'll help out as much as I can.
No,
I'll,
but
like,
I think the idea would be more just we can talk about like the feasibility and just what good could come of it. I
Yeah.
think that's more interesting anyway.
Mhm.
It's like what could you? Let's assume
what
we
can we
can
do?
do it.
Yeah.
Let's assume we can make the $6 million man for the people who are old enough to remember that show. You know, what
yeah.
could we do with that technology? And
I
I think,
remember that. Yeah.
yeah, see, yeah, that's my man.
What show is that?
So
It's like a
it was
very old
Steve
show.
Austin, you know, very old show. There was a
Yeah.
Bionic Man and the Bionic
Yeah.
Woman. Everything
I don't
moved
know
in
what
slow
you're talking
motion because they didn't have the special effects to make it go fast.
I think, yeah, after I start going to a gym regularly here, yeah, I could like
Yeah.
talk about the scene, the California judo scene too, I guess, a little bit.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that'll be really cool. Yeah, definitely, definitely do that.
I can tell
mindset.
Shintaro really misses you, man. I can tell. Look at him.
Really?
He really misses
Oh,
you,
I
man.
miss you
miss
too,
too, yeah,
man.
man.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I miss Shintaro too.
I mean, but I'm sure everyone's so happy to see your face again, Peter. And again,
Yeah.
once you start hitting up the judo scene over there, and you have something
Yeah.
good to report.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's right.
Cool.
Cool.
Thank you,
Yeah.
Peter.
All right, see you
Thank you,
guys.
Peter. Nice chatting, man. Nice
Bye.
chatting, David.